Hello and welcome to the Emerald Planet. I'm Dr. Sam Hancock, President and Executive Director of Emerald Planet and Emerald Planet TV. We come to you on a week-to-week basis looking at 144 different nations, looking for those 1,000 best practices, what we call the best of the best, the solutions that are making a difference as we go through the 21st century. And of course, we're looking for the people that are making a difference, that are providing the leadership, the education, the sound foundation within their own local community, within their country, and of course around the globe. And I have someone sitting right beside me who has a very important title. She was the founding member of the Association of Women in Business, Ethiopia. This is Helina, she's Alermarye. And thank you for being with us.
Thank you very much for having me here.
Glad to have you here. Tell us a little bit about what the special skills, the motivation, the energy that it took to be a founding member, because I was saying that in all due honor, it's somebody that forms a new organization, that's really a big deal. And it takes a special person to do that. So tell us a little bit about what took you there and working with others to found this organization, the Association of Women in Business.
I would say it was more of a determination rather than a skill. It was knowing that that kind of space was necessary within the community that we were living in. So, and also the patience. You know, with legally forming this kind of organization, it takes time, it takes energy to go back and forth to the government offices and form them in a way that it has to be. But apart from that, it was, like I said, the determination and the zeal that I had.
Now, looking at the programs and activities that you're using, what kinds of things have you been doing, and why did you select those particular activities and programs and projects to get started and now advance the efforts of this organization?
Well, basically what we had been doing as an activity when we began AWiB was create the platform for women of like-minded to network, to connect, to come together and to collaborate. So with that it started, and then it grew into becoming a place where everybody comes with their own need, but also gets what they're looking for. For example, we are having different classes, self-confidence classes and round tables, so and English conversation classes. So everybody, apart from having the network and apart from connecting with other people and creating the relationship, also getting this different.
Well, looking at this photograph here, and I'm leaving this up purposely. I mean, when you look at this is a very dynamic photograph, and it's a very dynamic activity that's going on. So when you see this, and how do you bring people out? Why would people give up their free time to come out to something like this in order to network, but feel like that they're actually contributing to something that's even greater than themselves?
I would say because AWiB gives them what has been missing within the community. It gives them that platform. It creates the space for them to be safe and speak and connect, to create relationship. I would say those are the things that has attracted a lot of participants and members for AWiB.
Yeah, I know the focus, even in the name, is on women in business, but we define that business in a very broad way. It's the business of the community, business of the nation, your own personal business, business of the family. But I know that you really do focus on youth and female youth specifically. So how do you reach out to these female youth? How do they become involved? And what are they actually there to learn from these mentors, you know, these women that are, you know, mothers and head of household or working in households on their own, and yet they feel like that they're an active part of the organization, not just attending something.
When we started as Association of Women in Business, by business we meant our life, taking our life as a business. So it was not only the particular doing trade, but rather taking yourself and your word as it needs to be. And for the young ones, AWiB is a platform where they get role models, where they get a person that they can look up to, and also a person that they can identify with. So it creates that local role models for them. And how we reach them is because AWiB members have to pay for membership fee. But again, for university students and younger ones, we don't want to ask that, but rather we create the sponsorship kind of scheme where we get them to participate in different programs, to come there to find their mentors, to mingle with each other and learn from each other.
Yeah, you have a very robust website, and you really encourage people to use your website. Come there and you have seminars, you have links to educational materials. They can even take little mini courses or certificates and those kinds of things. So in the 21st century, where you have the Internet of Things, you have big data, you have all this going on out there in the internet and cell phones and all that, but yet you have a great emphasis on having personal connection. So an organization like, AWiB, why this continued emphasis to bring people in and not just do everything through the internet?
Because it is, like you said, it's the personal connection that keeps the members coming in. It's the personal connection that we have been missing, and that the AWiB platform is giving us that personal connection with different people that come from different walk of life, and then making it easy to connect with them, to learn from them, to grow and collaborate with those women and men. So it is the personal connection that brings the membership. Yeah. That's why we emphasize on that.
And the interesting thing about this is that you really started this in Ethiopia. Now you're bringing it to the United States. Usually it's always, the opposite way, or in many cases the opposite way. And I find this very exciting and also refreshing that you're there and bringing it back here and dealing with the women within the diaspora within the United States. So how are you making it relevant to the women of the African diaspora in the United States? Because the meetings that I've attended, they're as excited and energetic and connected as any I've seen, as far as being in Ethiopia or other parts of the African continent.
For the diaspora women, AWiB is giving them the connection back home. It's like finding the space to give back to their communities, to say, okay, I can do this. I can support other women, other girls, other interns. So we are creating that ground for them to look back and also to give back.
What are you seeing as far as the connectedness, the networking, the energy that you're finding in the work that you're doing within the United States that may be similar to what's going on in Ethiopia and on the continent, or maybe entirely different, exciting, interesting, dynamic, but different? What are you finding there?
I would say the whole AWiB networking platform is very dynamic and also, in a way, energizing. I have found this in both Ethiopia and also here. So I would say it's the connection that we create between people has the same effect both at home and here in the U.S.
As founding member, this is something I asked founding members of different organizations, so it's not just you and AWiB. But looking at this, what have you gained out of this experience, and what has your family gained out of this experience that you never thought would either ever happen or you never dreamed when you spent all this time and effort to get involved that it's actually brought to you and your family?
I would say I have grown as a leader a lot. Through the journey of finding AWiB, a lot has happened and I have learned a lot. I have found my mentors. So I'm always telling the young girls to come to AWiB, to find their mentors, to be there, and to learn to be energized, stimulated by others.
Yeah, and I think this is a perfect photograph of what can happen there and how people can get involved and how the youth can become very involved and connected in all that they're doing. Looking at the youth specifically, what would be 2 or 3 of the main things that they're getting out of this experience beyond the education that they get, you know, in their public schools or private schools, what they're getting out of their own community? What is your organization bringing 2 or 3 things that's unique, different, that really helps them, prepares them for the future in a different and maybe a more robust way?
AWiB is a norm-setting, norm-defining organization, association. By that, what I mean is our culture can be a bit conservative sometimes. For example, a typical good girl is one that is quiet, subservient, and obeys order, or acts and says things that a society or community expects her to do. So when a girl comes to a place where she has to negotiate for herself, where those characters that she has been internalizing for a long time limits her from exhibiting her potential, her qualities. So AWiB gives her that platform where we can question this predominant thinking value system that we have been internalizing. So I would say for all the even women, adult women, and also the young ones, AWiB is that place where we are questioning ourselves, where we grow and become authentic leaders. Again, AWiB is also not only developing leadership, but also promoting leadership, making visible those Ethiopian women that are already very good leaders, excellent leaders, and showing it to the community, making it public.
Now, this is the last question. We have to be quick. We have about 13 seconds exactly. What do you see for Africa fast forward over the next 5, 10, 15 years, and AWiB being a key part of that?
AWiB is very simple. It works on leadership. So Africa needs leadership. With a young population coming, the leadership is what we need, and we can change generation by that.
And this is Helina Alermarye. Thank you for being with us.
Thank you very much.
Association of Women in Business Ethiopia, AWiB. And thank you, dear viewers, for being with us as we're talking about Ethiopia, the African continent, fast forward as we create Emerald.